Before, I was a workaholic. I always in the kitchen. Even when I'm not in the kitchen, I'm still doing some work-related stuff. I feel like giving up sometimes because I find it a little hard to balance my work and personal life. So I focus more on a work-life balance lifestyle. I start going to gym, doing weight training 3 days a week, and also learn how to do longboarding. And by doing those activities, I feel like I do not have to think about anything about work, and rejuvenating my mind and it's kind of taking a break and thinking how to create for my next project. Now the pastry industry is changing rapidly, so I got my inspiration from pretty much everywhere. But when I had my first job, the pastry chef really taught me a lot about flavor combination and techniques. So I learned a lot of basic from him. And I was born and raised in Taiwan, so I love to use traditional tea in my pastry, such as oolong, iron goddess, and oriental beauty. And I use oolong peach in one of my cake, and also I created assam with chestnut, and also iron goddess with caramelized apple. So when I was little, my parents signed up a baking class for my sister. She was 7 at that time, I was 5. I wasn't allowed to bake, but I get to try the chocolate cookies and other baked goods. For some reason, the scene stays in my mind. After I graduate from SFU Communications, I want to learn a hands-on skill. Baking and pastry pop into my head, and then I just continue that journey. My favorite things to make is chocolate cake. I like to work with things with chocolate. Before I start baking, I love to eat a lot of different pastries, but ever since I know how to make it, I do tasting most of the time. So I find I go back to the very simple flavor, like chocolate. And I do like to make mousse and chocolate bars, dragées. There's a lot of variety that I can work with. When I was still in pastry school, I started to bake at home, and my friends starting to try my cakes, and by the word of mouth, people start buying from me. But at some point, I feel like I'm not learning too much. So I had an opportunity to move to Whistler to work in a pastry kitchen with a pastry chef called Dominic Fortin. At that time, he taught me a lot. And after a year of that contract, I moved back to Vancouver and start taking Buttermere more serious. What I like about Vancouver food scenes is the authenticity and variety of multicultural cuisine. My favorite food spot is called Middle Garden Farm and Barbecue. It's located in Pitt Middle. It's a traditional Korean barbecue place. It grows their own produce, and they kind of provide farm-to-table kind of cuisine, and I really like. And there's also something I don't like, it's the big food chains coming to Vancouver. And I know it's really good for people to taste something from their home, but it's kind of overpriced sometimes. My favorite part of the job is to travel and also meet like-minded people in the industry and conquering challenges, because sometimes I feel like when I'm not able to meet the deadlines, but my team can also put everything with me together. Yeah, it feels accomplished. The biggest challenge I have now is self-doubt, because sometimes I feel like things is not going my way, or I cannot deal with the people relationship in the kitchen or behind the schedule. But having a good support system is really important, because most of my friends and family, they know about my goals, so they can give me very objective opinions and put me back on track and continue with my business.